Yes guys, so what is going on and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be starting a new backtesting series on Euro US dollar. I'm going to be doing from January 2023 all the way up until the present date, which is end of 2024 going into 2025. And we're going to be doing this little series where we go from the beginning of 2023 up until now, backtesting Euro USD, because I am potentially looking to add it into my watch list as a third potential pair to trade. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the back testing. All right, guys. So I have just entered all the details in. We've got 100K in the account. I always like to put it at 100K just because it familiarizes yourself with the bigger profits and losses, obviously. So when you come to funded accounts, it doesn't really affect you as much. And like I said, 1st of January 2023, all the way up until the present date. And let's head right over to the charts and let's get straight into it. I'm just going to make this full screen. There we go. We'll zoom it out a little bit. This is a big tip for you guys as well. When you're back testing, have the chart zoomed out so that you have a full picture of what is going on. And so you can see like the overall narrative, where price is heading, where it's currently trading, what it's reacting from, and all of those sorts of things. Cool. And obviously I have never traded Euro USD before. I've never seen this price action. I've only back tested 2024 on Euro USD. So let's have a look. Weekly time frame is currently on a macro picture, currently bearish. We had this main weekly breaker structure. If you look at a more micro term picture though, we are clearly bullish. Price has broken these weekly like substructure levels. You could say this was a weekly change of character. And overall, you've just got this extended move up. Price looks to be heading towards at least this liquidity level up here. You wouldn't really expect it to reverse until it heads up into that level. So starting off the session, price is bullish and I'm going to be looking to buy up into this liquidity level to the left. So I'm going to mark that high on with a horizontal line just so we know where price is. And then as for lower time frame, or sorry, higher time frame structure, we have this being our current 4-hour breaker structure. Price has given a pullback. It's sort of reacted from this area of demand and swept some previous lows. Very clearly, it's heading back towards this high. As before, there's not really anything that it can react from apart from if it comes up and sweeps that high. So yeah, to start the session off, I'm going to be looking to buy up into that liquidity. As for hourly structure, we've had sweep of these lows. This was your hourly change of character. Price pulled back, broke structure again here. And then once again, pulled back, broke structure here. Right, so that's our current hourly structure. And as for potential points of interest, we have this hourly demand zone, which price is currently trading above. So this whole zone here. And ideally, we see a reaction from the top of that zone. Otherwise, price could sell further. But yeah, definitely looking to buy up into that wick at least. Cool. I'm just going to mark on the session indicator as well, just because we don't want to be testing Asian session, because obviously in the live market, we wouldn't be trading it. Okay, let's look for a potential entry here. Okay, we're in Asian session, so I'm just going to go to the next session. Not really anything too clean here in terms of structure. So I'm just going to play this on. Yeah, so that demand zone failed. So what we can look for now is potentially for price to come down and grab some previous lows. You still have potentially this 4-hour low down here, which price could come down and sweep. Okay, there we go. It looks like price wants to continue down further. Could maybe look at this sort of region. The reason is, if we look on the 4-hour, this was the sort of demand zone. Price induced it. We've now taken out that all of these previous lows, and overall I am still bullish for the time being because price didn't come up and take that high. Obviously, if it continues down more, we can adapt and potentially look for some sells instead. But yeah, let's see how price reacts to this level. Currently, there's not really any structure for it to break, so either we see a sweep of these lows and then a break, or price just sells straight through this level. Okay, there we go. So we did actually just get a change of character. I like the look of this because if we look to the left, there's literally just this empty imbalance where you wouldn't expect price to reverse from. So what I would do now is wait for a pullback into this demand. So I'm going to set a limit there. Stops just below this low, and I'm going to be targeting a 1 to 3. Actually, I'm going to target this high up here, but I'm going to mark on where 1 to 3 is. If we see price start to reverse once it hits a 1 to 3, I'll potentially close early. But yeah, overall, that is my longer term target up there. So I'm going to go ahead and target that. Place this order. And let's see how price reacts to our zone. There we go. We've got small reaction so far, but ideally we want price to break this high. That would be a good indication that price wants to go in our favor. There we go. So that's a good sign. Once price re-breaks this structure, that is a good indication that it wants to continue in your favor. And also look at all of the momentum that has just come into the market. This is the type of momentum you don't want to be selling against. And like I said before, if we look to the left, there's nothing really for price to react from. You could maybe watch out for this supply, but because we have got these sort of two relative equal highs above, I'm not expecting a complete reversal from this supply. I would only anticipate maybe a small reaction for more buys. So let's have a look. If you miss the first trade, you could potentially look to re-enter here. Yeah, so I'm going to actually get a re-entry here. Stops just below the demand. And same target as before. All right, so little loss on that one. Still bullish though, so I'm going to hold the original position. And I'm going to play it on the higher time frame just so it's a bit quicker. Okay, so first position was actually a loss. We could have maybe exited at a, actually no, I didn't hit a 1 to 3, so that's completely fine as well. There we go. So I think maybe price just wanted to re-grab those lows before heading higher. But yeah, as I said, I'm overall still bullish on this pair. This, I wouldn't really want to be looking to sell from this. I'd more so just look for the buys. As you can see now, we've had a clear change of character on the 1 hour time frame. So I'd be more inclined to look for a pullback and then look to buy up into these highs instead. Not really seeing a clear point of interest just yet. Maybe if you grab this low. Okay, so price just wanted to head up. That was quite an annoying scenario because we were right on the direction. Price just took us out and then went in our intended direction. So yeah, there we go. Price has now taken out that wick high that we said, and it is also heading towards the weekly liquidity level that we marked up here. Yeah, and there you go. So price now took that weekly liquidity. But yeah, once again, price just rallying straight through the level. So not really interested in selling from there. You also kind of have this supply zone to the left. So maybe we could see some counter trend sells from this level, but mainly I'm focusing on the buy side. This is still very bullish. So yeah, still bullish. So I'm only looking for longs unless we see something very convincing in terms of sells. Let's have a look at some of the intraday structure. Yeah, so this area here, we see that. That's a clear area of demand. I like how it created imbalance as well. We've got some liquidity resting above it. If we just look on the lower time frame, could maybe refine it to this zone. Yeah, so that's my next buy-in zone based on the fact that I'm considering this a breaker structure because we had a pullback push up. So yeah, let's see if price can come into our zone or not. There we go. So price is within our zone. See if we get confirmation or not. Oh, there we go. So this looks nice. We've had a 5-minute change of character. By the way, for the entry time frame on this backtesting session, I'm using 5-minute structure. I never go lower than the 5-minute. And we're simply looking for a breaker structure or change of character, pull back into an imbalanced level of demand or supply, and then we're looking to target previous areas of liquidity or mechanically target a 1 to 3 depending on the setup. I won't go into too much detail about that here. So yeah, for this one, we're going to target this high. It was Asia high, it was untapped. And yeah, I see price heading towards that. Is overall still bullish. So we are anticipating price to create new highs. So let's see if we get a reaction from our entry zone. We are on a 2-trade lose streak, so it would be nice if this one could be a winner. Nice reaction so far. Again, ideally we break this high. That would be a good sign. Oh, and by the way as well, I never make my trades break even, and I don't take partials because I think it just ruins your overall edge and your profitability based on something I've back tested. So there we go, price has broken structure again. So either price continues up, hits take profit, or comes down, hits stop loss. There we go. So first winning trade of the session. We are now 2% up overall on 3 trades. So we only have a 33% win rate so far, but we are up 2%. So that is very nice. And now we've seen another break of structure. So we can simply look to get in. We can simply look for price to retrace again, get in on these long positions, and continue buying in line with this overall direction. I'm just going to zoom out to see which levels we need to be aware of. So the next liquidity level I would be aware of for a potential reversal would be this one, these daily highs right here, leading into the imbalance to the left. I think there was a weekly supply there as well. Yeah, so could definitely see some reversals from here. We have like this weekly supply zone, higher time frame liquidity just below it. I'm not expecting this to be like a massive reversal, but I am potentially anticipating like a small pullback or a small daily pullback from this level, which would obviously correlate on the lower time frames as a reversal, because a lower time frame reversal is basically a higher time frame pullback. I'm not really seeing anything in this range to buy from. Could potentially see a regrab of these lows. So I'm going to mark that on. That would be the only valid point of interest for me currently. Yeah, so there we go. We've got a sweep of that low. Nice reaction so far. Yeah, so I'm still looking for buys here. Another scenario we could see is price come down, sweep the bottom of this demand. But yeah, I'm just going to react to what price does. For this to be a confirmed trade, we need to see this breaker structure here. So let's see if we get that. There we go. So we did see that change of character. I don't like, though, how it has come up, reacted from this supply. So I'm not going to enter this. Yeah, there we go. So price wanted to come lower anyway. All right, so there we go. Regrab of these lows. We've now had a very clear change of character with all of this momentum coming in. I'm just going to go to the higher time frame to see what we need to watch out for. So here, is there a valid entry area? Let's have a look. You do have this area of demand, which aligns sort of with a retest of that previous high. So I'm going to set a limit here, have stops just below this demand, and we will target this high up here for around a 1 to 3. And let's see if price pulls back for us. It doesn't look like it will. Nope, so there we go. We can cancel that limit now. But yeah, overall, when price is moving like this, there's not really too much you can do. Obviously, you don't want to buy when price is all the way up here because there's nowhere to put your stop loss. unless you put it all the way down here, but that would completely destroy the risk to reward. And it looks like price is going to break that main structure again. Oh, so we've seen a pullback first. We're still expecting a sweep of this high. So let's have a look if we can get in on the longs. Okay, cool. So price has broken that structure. There wasn't really anything valid for me during this pullback, which is why I didn't take anything. So the next region, we could actually see price maybe buy from this demand, which you can see has just come into. Swept daily lows to the left as well. So see how it reacts in this zone. This is Asian session, so we're going to go to the next session. I'm not liking how we have all of these lows down here. I want to see potential sweep of that before buying. Okay, so we never got the sweep, but that wasn't a valid setup for me because there was nothing to buy from. You sort of had this change of character, and ideally we would have entered from demand down here, but it was Asia session, so we couldn't have really entered that anyway. And yeah, so now we've seen another breaker structure. Price is approaching that liquidity level above, but it hasn't yet hit the zone, so we can look for some more buying opportunities up to it. Just going to get rid of some of these drawings to make it clearer. Yeah, you can see price kind of forming these relative equal highs, so still looking for more upside. I'm not seeing anything here yet. Okay, so you've seen price react from this demand. Internally, it has now flipped back bullish. If you can see that, we've broken this main structure. Again, though, there's not really anything that I would look to buy from in this range, so we're just going to let this play out. Cool, so it broke structure again, came back, grabbed these lows. Maybe we could see an entry here. Sort of came from this extreme, which was the lowest demand in the range. 5 minute hasn't broken any structure yet though, so this is not a valid setup just yet. Overall though, this is quite messy, which to be honest you would kind of expect as price approaches that weekly supply. So just going to get rid of that just to make it clearer. And what I would look for now would actually be if price can grab these lows again. There we go. So price has grabbed that low, grabbed all of these lows as well. So let's have a look on the lower time frame. So this is only an internal structure. So the structure I want to see it break for the change of character is this high up here. Unless it does something like that and just continues lower. So let's zoom back out a little bit. Could maybe see the buys here. Swept this supply, demand zone. I think. Or I think it's slightly swept the demand. Yeah, so it slightly swept that demand. Broken some structure. Not really anything I would enter off there though. So let's just keep playing price a bit. Yeah, so there we go. Price has now come into our weekly supply. Could definitely see some sells here. I'm liking the fact that we've got all of these built up lows just below. So lots of people that need to be taken out. But yeah, for a valid sell setup in this area, I would need to see something like a clear reversal first of all, at least on the 15 minutes. So let's watch the 15-minute structure. Yes, there we go. Price has started to reverse. We have like all of this imbalance, all of this liquidity as well. So from this level, I'm going to be looking for some more selling opportunities. Potentially if price comes up, regrabs this high, that would be the only valid point of interest at the moment. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it's doing that anyway. But yeah, as you can see there, we've got a clear reversal, 4-hour broke structure. So this is now your 4-hour trend. And if we go back to the daily, what I would want to see would be for price to at least come down and tap into this demand on the daily time frame. Overall, you can still see that the daily is bullish, and it's to be expected that price is going to come take out these daily lows. But yeah, you could see it continue bullish after coming into this sort of region, or at least you could see a reaction from it. But yeah, for now, looking for some shorts down into that level. Cool, so that would have been a valid point of interest. Sweep of this high, tap into that supply zone, but there isn't really a valid confirmation there. Yeah, so I think price wants to head higher actually. Maybe grab that high one more time. There we go. So price is still in this supply zone. It's grabbed previous highs. In terms of 4-hour time frame, could maybe look at this supply zone instead. Up here, which price has just missed. But yeah, overall still looking for mainly shorts. Yeah, there we go. So price came into our 4-hour supply. In terms of 5-minute structure, this would be the main low. You want to see it break, which it has just done. There we go. And you've got this sort of premium supply. So this is the area I would wait for price to pull back into, unless it continues down, creates some more structure. So I'm going to set a limit there. We could target these Asian lows, I think. It doesn't look like it's pulling back for us. Yeah, so there we go. Going to get rid of this now. Could still see it come back up and come into the supply. All right, so broke into new lows now. Our point of interest was very accurate though. As you can see, price came into it, sold off. So within this range, we could see maybe price come into this premium supply, but you've also got this one, and price has not yet tapped into our daily demand. If it does come into that daily demand, then that's when we can watch out for the buys. But as of right now, still looking for shorts. There we go. So price has come into that supply. Still in a clear downtrend. If we just zoom back out to the 4-hour. Yeah, so I'm going to see what price does in this soon. Nothing just yet. I'm not really liking how price is moving towards this high. Yeah, there we go. So that POI was now invalidated. There we go. We could see sells now. We've had price came up, grabbed this high, which was the current lower high structure. Everybody's now in buys. We haven't yet come into the daily demand, so I'm still expecting lower prices for the time being. If we look at 5-minute structure, ideally we want to see it break this low first. Yeah, so I'm going to play price and see if it breaks that low. There we go. So that's our change of character. Bit of a weird scenario. This looks like it was some news, but still a valid setup. So now we look for a pullback into supply. We have this whole sort of region up here. So I'm going to actually set a limit on this zone. Stops slightly above. And for this one, I'm quite confident in this because we've had this huge wick above liquidity. So I'm going to target all the way down here, slightly lower for a 1 to 3. There we go. Let's see if we get tagged in. There we go. So we're tagged in now. Perfect entry pretty much. And price has just broken that low. So pretty confident in this trade now. There we go. So price has pushed down, created these equal lows, and it has started to pull back. So this looks like a good opportunity to potentially get in on another entry. Maybe we could see it come into, let's have a look. So maybe see it sweep this high. Or not. So that's fine because we were in this initial trade that made us 3%. We're now 5% up overall. And I think we've taken 4 trades in January. So trade frequency is about the same as I would take on GBP USD. So far, so good. Like I mentioned all the time as well, guys, you don't need a lot of trades to make a decent amount of profit. And more trades does not mean more profit. It's better to focus on and wait for the best quality setups and then only enter those good quality setups. So what I'm going to actually do now is get rid of some of this and also this because price has come into daily demand. So yeah, I'm looking for buying opportunities here, but again, we need to see some clear indications that price is going to flip back bullish. If we look on the 4 hour, you still have like all of this imbalance down here, so it could come lower, right? But this whole region here is really the daily demand, so that whole region is where you want to look for. Played price too quickly there, but this could have been an entry. Price swept Asia low, broke structure, retested into this demand. So I'm going to actually set a limit on this area. If price retests, then we can enter, and I'm going to target Asia high just up there. I'm actually going to put it slightly higher because this was not a 1 to 3. Now it's a 1 to 3. Yeah, so stop loss on that one. Valid setup though. Price came into daily demand and broke structure. Should have ideally been monitoring this supply zone. Once you saw a wick of that, you kind of know price is going to take these lows. Right, so there we go. Regrab these lows. Very clear change of character just there. In terms of entry areas, I would look to enter from here, seeing this first one as liquidity. If, however, price creates liquidity above this first zone, that's the one I would enter from. But for now, I would enter from here. Going to just mechanically target a 1 to 3 on this one. Yeah, so I'm not seeing price coming down to there anymore, just because it got too far away. But yeah, very clearly now it has flipped back bullish. So we want to be looking for some buys now, at least up into this liquidity level, which is this high on the daily time frame. Okay, nice. So as for potential buying opportunities, I would maybe look for price to come into this demand. Has just grabbed Asia low though, so we could see it go from here. Ideally, it comes down, grabs the low one more time. There we go. So it grabbed Asia low, reswept this low. This is the Asian session though, so I'm going to head to the next session. And I'd want to see it at least break this structure for a change of character. Okay, there we go. So we got our change of character. Potential entry area is this demand down here. And we're going to go and target this high for around a 1 to 3.6. Okay, nope, so that was a loss on that one. Still up 3%, so not really too worried. This is a bit of a mess, but I'm looking for, yeah, so that was what I was looking for, a regrab of this low. See what price wants to do here. Still not seeing anything too convincing for the buys. I'm not really looking for sells here either because it is in daily demand. So this kind of makes this hard to trade. All right, so there we go. That is something I now like. We've got this very clear change of character. We've got kind of this demand down here. You also have this one just above. I'd only want to enter this on this one though if price creates some liquidity above it. Oh, so there we go. We should have entered on that one anyway. But yeah, the reason I didn't, it didn't fit my criteria quite. It didn't quite fit my criteria because I needed some liquidity to be created above it. But yeah, this is still quite messy because we've had change of character from this demand, but price has now kind of wicked out all of these highs. Could maybe see it come down and react from this area to sweep all of these lows. There we go. So this could be a valid setup. We've had our change of character. We are in Asian session though, so I'm going to go to the next session. There we go. So price has pushed up, but there's not really any entries now. Price has kind of got away from us. Yeah, and there we go. So it's rebroken into new highs. Still overall bullish. And yeah, we've kind of now got some very clear bullish structure coming in. So I'm looking for a pullback to get in on the longs. Not really seeing anything at the moment. Kind of just got this push up. All of this area was already mitigated. Yeah, this isn't really something I would trade just yet. So price kind of reacted from that extreme demand down here. Didn't see that at the time, but that would have been a nice setup. So yeah, now just kind of looking to follow this trend up to previous liquidity. Could see maybe price react to this demand. Nope, so it looks like it wants to continue lower. Yeah, so no longer looking to buy in this range. What I would look for now would actually be for price to come down and take out this low, and then I would potentially look to get back in. Yes, there we go. Let's have a look here. This would be a good opportunity. I think this is the London Open. No, so I'm going to go to London session. There we go. We have seen a 5-minute change of character after price took Asia low. Don't really like this though. Pretty messy price here. Don't really want to enter on this. All right, so there we go. We did have that initial change of character, but there wasn't really any clean entry areas. And this is a common theme I'm noticing so far with EURUSD, is that it doesn't create as clean of an entry area as GU does. But yeah, very clearly now price is coming up to this high. Maybe if we get a pullback, we can look to buy up to it. Yeah, we didn't really get a pullback. Price has now taken that high. All right, so next POI. We now have some clear areas to go off. We have this zone. Right, so price is now in that zone. Let's look for an entry. Price is gapped up. I think this was probably, yeah, market open. Obviously, you wouldn't really be able to do anything here because you've just got this gap. So if we play price a bit more. Okay, so what I would look to do here, we've now had another break of structure. Price has kind of come down, reacted from the gap. So either we see buys here now that the liquidity has been taken out, or we could see maybe price come down into this demand down here, which is basically what caused the gap. I'm also going to mark this as a break of structure. But yeah, we definitely have some cleaner structure now. Daily time frame has come into that demand, and longer term target is this high, just up here. If we look on the weekly, it's very clearly still bullish as well. So yeah, let's see what price does here. This could be a valid entry. Yeah, so there you go. You've got change of character there. Price created demand. So if we get a pullback into this zone, I'm going to look for some buying opportunities. We'll have a 10 pip stop. Target this high for just over a 1 to 3. All right, damn. So price never pulled back for us. Valid entry though. And yeah, what I'm liking now is that we have Asia low down here. Price has just gone into London session, and we still have this gap below this low. So what I would look for here would be potentially a sweep of this low into the demand and then look to buy. Yeah, so there we go. Price has now re-grabbed that low, which was the Asian low. Right, so it's also tapped into the demand. Right, so this looks like a great opportunity. Swept this low, broke structure here. So what I'm going to do is actually enter. If we can get a 1 to 3 on this, I'll do market execution. All right, so if not, I'll wait for a pullback into this area, which was the demand. Not sure why it's not placing. There we go. All right, so it looks like it wants to miss us again. Very annoying. We had 2 perfect trades there, but they just slightly missed us. Yeah, and there we go. So price bought to the high from that zone. Very annoying though. It only slightly missed us and then went to our target. Not really seeing anything here though. Okay, so this could be a valid setup. Price came back down, grabbed these lows, retested into the demand. And as for higher time frame, hasn't yet swept our liquidity level up here. So yeah, I'm going to see how price reacts here. You also have potentially this low. So see which one price reacts to. Yeah, so it's coming lower. Yeah, so now we could definitely see re-grab this low. This move looks like it was fueled by some sort of news. Maybe like bank rate or something like that. Yeah, prices re-grabbed that low, keeping in mind that it is still within this 4-hour demand zone, which was the refined daily demand as well. So to look for a buy, I want to see price break this high. There we go. So we've got a break of that high. Now we look for a pullback. I'm going to enter here. Stops just below that low. And as for a potential target, I'm actually going to target all the way up at this high. Yeah, so I don't think this is going to pull back for us. I'm actually going to put this limit slightly higher at this region and target this high again. And the reason is, like, this whole area here is the demand, and you've got Asia low above it. It created imbalance, so this would be quality setup. There we go, nice reaction. Can we break that high? Yeah, there we go. So price has broken the high. This looks like a good trade, to be honest. Maybe you can get a re-entry as well. Yeah, so I would look actually in this sort of region for a re-entry. This was the hourly demand. It's at the low of the current leg of the trend as well. If we look to the left, it's not really reacting from anything, so I'm still seeing more buys. 5 minute, I want to see it break this high first. There we go. So it broke that high. We've created an area of demand. So if price can pull back into this zone before breaking the main high, I'm going to enter this as a re-entry. Stops just below that low. And for this, I'm just going to go for a 1 to 3. Just because it is a bit risky targeting above this high. Yeah, there we go. So price never pulled back anyway. Okay, still keeping an eye out for a potential second entry. So you've had a break of structure there. Could maybe look for price to come back into this area. That looks nice. Got liquidity above it as well. All right, so never came back into the zone, but our first trade hit take profit. We are now up 7%. So that is almost a phase one passed in around 2.5 months. Obviously, 8% is a great return for 2.5 months, despite what anyone else will tell you. So yeah, still looking to follow this bullish trend. We've now had another break of structure. I'm gonna go back out to the daily as well and mark on that high, because we could definitely see some reversals after that is swept. But yeah, overall looking to buy price up into this high. That is the main target. Not really seeing any clear points of interest right now. I've kind of just got this imbalance, but that's it. It's not really much to go off. So I'm just going to play price a little bit more. Yeah, and there we go. So price very clearly broke past that liquidity level, so we're not looking to short from it. And cool. So the only thing I would watch out for here is you've kind of come into daily supply. So even though you have all of this momentum, you could see a pullback here. Maybe into like this sort of region. But yeah, I'm not really trying to sell this. I'd be more interested in waiting for buys. So yeah, let's see what it does. Looks like it's just going to continue up anyway. Okay, so we have seen a bigger sell-off. Overall though, still bullish. And I think like with this, you could have potentially got the sells from the top, But once price is sold off a decent amount like this, you don't really want to be staying married to the sells because price could easily flip back bullish at any moment. I see it coming slightly lower actually, but let's have a look what it does. Yeah, so actually I think you could just see it come return back bullish from here. There wasn't a valid, I was looking at this, but there wasn't really a valid entry for me, so I didn't look at taking an entry from that zone. Cool, so looking to buy up into that high. Just spotted a nice area of demand here. So yeah, let's see what price does in this zone. We've got the Asian high above as well, which sort of created equal highs. Right, so I'm going to enter here. Stops just below the low. And I'm going to go for a 1 to 3. The reason I'm entering here, by the way, he had a change of character, came down, retested demand, and then pushed away. I entered this slightly later because I didn't want to enter from this demand with just a limit. I wanted to see how it reacted. Yeah, a little loss on that one anyway. Cool, price wants to come lower. And yeah, now you can probably see it take out all of these lows. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now all of those lows are taken out. Now it looks to be flipping back bullish. So could maybe look to buy from here. So I'm just going to mark this on. We've had all of these lows taken out, right? Price, if we look here, tapped into demand. We've had a clear push up from that zone. So if we're looking to get in on the longs, we ideally want to be looking at this sort of region. All right, so it doesn't look like it wants to pull back into that zone anyway. And has just broken that main structure again. Cool, so that's completely fine. What we should have really looked to capitalize on, which I played price too quickly, to be honest, was this initial trade down here because it was a valid setup. As for the daily level you want to be watching out for, I would watch out for this daily liquidity level. You also have a daily supply just above it. So that's where you could see a reversal from. But for now, looking to just continue buying up into it. Okay, so I've kind of got two areas I'm interested in buying from here. We've got this one and this lower one as well. Actually, I'm not interested in this one because it is just liquidity. Right, it did end up reacting from that initial one anyway, but there wasn't a valid change of character there, so that wasn't a valid setup for us. Okay, so it has now tapped into that zone. All of these lows have been taken out. So yeah, for me, this would be a great place to look for some longs. But yeah, as of in terms of like the structure, you want to see at least this high broken before looking to buy if you're using that change of character entry model. Or obviously for it to come down, re-grab the lows and then break structure. That would also be valid. I'm going to play this on the higher time frame just so it's quicker. Okay, so wants to continue lower anyway. Yeah, I wasn't seeing anything clear there. You could say it reacted from this imbalance, pushed up, rebroke these highs, but not really something I would have looked to trade. And yeah, it has now just broken that main daily high. It's in daily supply as well. So we can get rid of some of this. This is no longer relevant for us because it was that internal structure instead of the external structure. This was our main daily breaker structure. We're in this daily supply zone, so we could look for some counter trend sells from this level. Yeah, so there you go. You can kind of see it's reversed. It had this hourly change of character. Price is really selling off at the moment. Not seeing anything too clean for the sells. Right, so I'm just going to refresh this because it keeps sticking. But yeah, guys, I think this video is already quite long, so I'm going to end it here, and this is going to be part 1. We're currently up 6% in around 4 months, which isn't the best, but when you consider that the S&P 500 does about 10% per year on average, it is still a good return. So far, I found that EURUSD is a bit slower than GBP/USD. And to be honest, I like GBP/USD a lot more. So that's just something to consider. But yeah, I'll continue this series next week and upload it for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.